Hello.
Hey.
So we are on episode 7.
Yes, we are. We're up to episode 7. So I didn't film last week because my filmer was out of town. So I can't do it without my filmer.
Oops.
But that's okay. So yeah, so episode 7. But before I talk about that one, I just want to say thank you to all of my people, my readers who are reading. I'm having a lot, and it seems to be making its way around the world, which is amazing. So I'm able to track it, see where it's going, and it's gone everywhere. So I'm really impressed with that. I'm impressed with it, but I'm also saddened by it because there's so many people that can relate to this relationship, this story. It breaks my heart because we have a lot of men in this situation and a lot of women in this situation. I've been getting a lot of thank you messages lately. Thank you for writing. Thank you for doing this because it's difficult to express how I feel. A lot of people are saying thank you for doing this, and I don't feel alone anymore. Which when I first went through all this, I felt completely alone. Like no one else had gone through this but me.
Some of that's hard to read.
Yeah.
Some people have written.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely is. It's really hard, but you know, like I was saying, we have men in it, we have women in it, but the thing that we forget, the most important people that are in it are our kids. And episode 7 talks about my kids. What this looked like through their eyes. And that's a tough one. Doesn't look it right the second, maybe it does, but I've been just crying my eyes out all day. Sitting, writing, crying, feeling, reliving, and feeling a few different things. Failure as a mom. I didn't protect them from what I should have protected them from because I couldn't see certain things. So I did write a lot, episode 7, about my kids and what it looked like for them and how, you know, difficult it must have been for them to see me going through what I did. And I think a lot of people think, oh, little Johnny's, 2 and 3, they don't know, they don't understand it. No, little Johnny knows exactly what's going on. Little Johnny knows, dad is being mean to mom, or mom is being mean to dad, or stepdad or boyfriend or whatever is being mean to my mom, and vice versa. And what happens is they feel scared, helpless. They don't know what to do. They want to help their mom. Kids that are 8, 9, 10 want to help their mom, they want to help their dad, but they don't know how to do it. It makes them feel helpless, like they're not doing what they should be doing. And our kids at that age, at any age, 14, 15, 16, shouldn't be thinking about, how am I going to help my mom? But this guy is being mean to my mom, calling her these names. How am I going to protect my mom? They shouldn't be thinking that in any way, shape, or form. And for me, being a mom who let my kids go through that, I don't know that it's anything I'll ever be able to fully forgive myself for. I don't know what I was able to teach them during those times, but I do know that they saw me at my worst, which is terrible. It's like my 3 boys, who are completely amazing, saw me on the floor in pieces. And that was really difficult, to now relive and see things a little bit through my fresh eyes, and then what their eyes probably saw. They go from their mom and dad getting divorced. The one day they're living with their mom and dad, and they're swimming in their pool, and they're hanging out with their 4 schnauzes. And the next thing you know, dad's moving out, the dogs are all rehomed, and mom has this guy. And what is this guy all about? And then all of a sudden he's putting her down, and he's calling her names, and he's saying these mean things about her, and they don't know what to do. And they don't know. So their lives went from pretty normal to, what the fudge? What's happening here? And they're not going to talk to their dad about it because they're confused, they're scared. They don't know this guy very well, and they're a little nervous about him and what he's capable of. And so a lot of times they just stood by, and they must have been terrified. And I'm reliving that, trying to figure out how to fix that. But I think they say like the best apology you can give anyone is change behavior. So for me, it's okay, get up, get it done. And I did. So I've been in my recovery program. It'll be 3 years in June. And they're seeing my rise. They're seeing my rise. Lately I've been discovering more and more have some haters, you know, who they're not huge fans of mine, which is fine. You know, not everyone has good taste. So I was a little bothered by this because they seem to be growing a little bit, not as fast as my fan base.
Are they growing, or are you just recognizing it?
I guess I'm just recognizing it.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'm just recognizing it where they're kind of creeping out, little here, little there, and I'm finding out about it, and I'm just like, what? You know, and I sent my oldest son a text the other day. I sent my oldest son a text, and I sent my godson a text. Because I have good relationships with those guys, you know, and I'm just like, my godson, I say, yeah, it turns out I have some haters. I'm like, that really sucks. And he sent, you know, it's like an acronym for what haters means, and he's like, you're amazing. He's like, just, you know, keep pushing forward. And then I sent it to my son, and he actually responded in such a way that I literally framed it. I printed it out and I framed what his response was.
What was it?
Because it was so amazing. And he was like, you know, what are these people, and you know, why do they, you know, not like you? It's because they don't like, you know, who they are. They don't like what they're seeing. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you've been through in life. They don't know, you know, what you've had to go through to become, and he said, the woman, the mom, and the role model that you are today. He was like, they don't know. And he's like, so keep your head high, you know, laugh in their face. And he was like, because they don't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's like, and I'm proud to call you mom. So this boy saw me.
That's a long way from the pails of sand and the happy faces
Yeah,
to that instant.
yeah, and it was, they saw me at my very worst, and they don't say much. Boys don't really say much. They're not gonna call you up and be like, hey mom, you're doing great. They're gonna say, hey mom, I need some money, you know, but when you turn to them and you lean on them just a little tiny bit, because, you know, he's 22 now, and, you know, I can do that. He comes through with that, and I know he's watching. He's this boy who watched his mom as a teen mom, struggling with that, fighting tooth and nail, and giving him the life that he needed, the life that he deserved, and then seeing all of that kind of taken away. She's a little beat down, but then is able to rise above and become strong, you know, woman. I think that's amazing, and that's my goal. That's my goal, I think, for everyone, you know, is to be able to kind of go through something like this and rise above. And it's possible. I think it's really possible, but you've got to want it. But you've got to be careful of what your kids are seeing and what your kids are hearing. Because a lot of times we're talking to our friends about the jerk we're in a relationship with, and our kids are listening. They've got earshot, you know, and just because they might be little and in car seats doesn't mean they don't know what you're saying about their dad, you know, or what there's something's being said about their mom. Kids listen and they learn, and that's how they get into their relationship. So if they see mom and dad, you know, yelling at each other, they think that's okay. And I know this because that's what happened with me. You know, my mom and dad didn't have this amazing romantic relationship. They didn't seem to really like each other that much, and it's kind of what I picked up from relationships. Relationships are supposed to be tough and struggling, and name calling is okay. Wow, name calling is not okay. It's not okay. You can't be in a relationship with someone and call them all these names and think that's acceptable and think that's okay. No, that's not right. You know, you're gonna fight fair. You're gonna fight, you're gonna hash it out, and you're gonna put it away, and that's gonna be it. But if you have to keep bringing stuff up from the past and throwing it in someone's face, you might not be in the right relationship. And you gotta be careful of who's watching you. You gotta make these decisions for your kids. So, you know, when I do start dating and I do start meeting people, it's gonna take a very strong man to come into my life, because he's not gonna be coming in for me. He's gonna be coming in for me and my kids. I have 2 in college. I have 1 in high school. And they may not be living here every day, but it doesn't matter, because those guys have been through enough with everything that they've seen their mom go through. So they're not going to want to see any kind of a man come in and be mean to me. They're a lot bigger now. They're a lot bigger than what they were a few years ago. And they've got a little more fire in them, and they've got a little more, protection in their hearts. So, good luck to that guy.
Right?
Because it's 3 boys. They're not little.